A woman at the grocery store demanded I let her cut in line, scoffing, I have kids, you don't, so I'm more important. When I refused, she shoved past me, only for the cashier to scan my items first, smiling. Actually, she is our VIP customer today. The woman's face turned red as the entire line watched. Let me tell you about the woman who thought having kids made her better than everyone else, and how her nasty attitude caught up with her in ways she never expected. I live in Columbus, Ohio. Not some big, flashy city, but not a sleepy town either. You see a little bit of everything here. I'm 38, single, no kids, and I work hard. I own a small graphic design firm that's finally starting to do well after years of late nights and missed holidays. This happened at the Kroger on East Broad. It was cold out, that time of year when winter doesn't want to leave. People were extra grumpy. The store was packed like it always is on Wednesdays. That's when they run their midweek deals, and everyone with a cart full of coupons comes crawling out. I had a long day. My back hurt, my phone kept buzzing with client requests, and I was tired. All I wanted was to grab my groceries, get home, and have one damn hour to myself. I was waiting in the express lane. I had 10 items. I counted. In front of me was a teenage kid buying chips, soda, and a frozen pizza. I didn't think anything of it until I felt someone jab their finger into my shoulder. Not tap. Jab. Excuse me, the voice behind me said, like I was a waitress who'd ignored her too long. I turned around and saw her. Maybe 35, blonde hair pulled up in one of those messy buns that looks like it took effort. Big sunglasses pushed up on her head, though the sun was long gone. Tight leggings, some kind of designer sweatshirt, and a huge stroller with 2 screaming toddlers. Her cart was loaded. Easily 30 or 40 items. She didn't wait for me to respond. I need to go ahead of you. I have kids. You don't. I blinked. What? I have kids, she said louder, like I was too dumb to understand. I don't have time for this. You clearly don't have children, so I should go first. The teenager ahead of me turned around, eyes wide. The cashier looked over too. I stared at her. You're not cutting in front of me. She rolled her eyes. Oh my God. Really? She didn't wait for permission. She shoved her cart forward and tried to muscle past me. Her cart rammed my hip. Not hard enough to injure, but enough to piss me off. I stepped in front of her again and held my ground. You hit me with your cart. She threw her hands in the air like I was being dramatic. It's just groceries. I have a schedule. I have a real life. Right then, the cashier, Kendra, a young woman I've known for years, smiled at me and said loudly, Hey, you're our VIP customer today. Come on up. She waved me forward. I didn't even think about it. I walked past the stroller, past the woman who was still trying to argue, and put my basket down at the register. What? The woman barked. Are you serious? I have kids. Kendra didn't flinch. And she's our VIP customer. So she goes first. The man behind the woman chuckled. A couple behind him muttered something about entitlement. The woman's face turned bright red. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. Kendra scanned my things like it was just another day. I paid, thanked her, and walked out without looking back. That would have been a satisfying enough end. But life had other plans. Because 2 weeks later, I was sitting in my office, finalizing a presentation for a new client. My assistant, Jordan, buzzed in and said, Hey, your 2 o'clock is here. I stood up, walked out, and there she was. The woman from the store. Same blonde bun. Same entitled glare. And she was here for a branding package. For her new, mom-centered lifestyle blog. She didn't recognize me at first. But I sure as hell recognized her. She didn't recognize me. Not right away. She reached out her hand with a fake smile. Hi, I'm Nicole. I shook it, keeping my expression neutral. Nice to meet you. I'm the owner here. Let's go to the conference room. She followed me, carrying a leather-bound notebook like it was a badge of honor. Jordan brought in coffee, and I could see the exact moment she looked at me a little harder. A flicker of confusion crossed her face. Then her mouth twitched. She remembered. I saw it land, the memory of the grocery store, the checkout line, her yelling about being more important because she had kids. She got quiet for a second, but then she doubled down. "Funny running into you again," she said, trying to laugh it off. I didn't smile. "Yeah, small world." She straightened up. "Look, that day was chaotic. I have a lot on my plate." "I remember," I said. "You made it very clear." Her smile faded. I opened her file. "So, this blog, you're looking for a full brand identity? Logo, web design, social content." She nodded quickly, trying to steer the conversation back to business. "Yes, I'm launching Real Mom Moments. It's going to be huge. I have over 10,000 followers already. I just need someone who can really bring it to life. Make it clean, modern, but still warm, you know." I took a deep breath, then nodded slowly. "Sure, we can help with that." And I did. For the next few weeks, I worked with my team to build out everything she wanted. We made it gorgeous. Perfect color scheme, clean layout, engaging graphics. We even sourced a few blog templates that matched her tone exactly. She was thrilled, gushed about how professional we were, how we really got her vision. She still didn't apologize for how she acted in the store. Not once. But I didn't forget. Then came the fun part. See, all our contracts include a clause clear as day. Payment in full is required before we release final materials or launch the live website. Nicole had paid the deposit, but the final invoice sat untouched for 3 weeks after we sent it. She kept making excuses. "Just waiting on my husband's transfer. We're switching banks. I'll get it to you Monday, promise." My team was getting frustrated. I gave her one last polite email. "Payment must be received in full before any deliverables are released. If not paid by Friday, we will consider the contract void." Friday came. No payment. Saturday morning, I got an email. Long, dramatic. She said she was deeply hurt by my tone, claimed I was attacking a hardworking mother and not understanding the pressures women face. She ended it with, "If you won't release the site, I'll just have someone else do it. I can't work with someone so bitter." That's when I snapped. I didn't respond to her email. Not right away. Instead, I went back through our messages and contracts and double-checked everything. She had signed. She had agreed to the payment terms. And she was using the same entitled tone she had at the grocery store, like the world owed her something just because she had kids. On Monday, I forwarded the situation to my lawyer. I told him I didn't plan to sue. I just wanted her to know I wasn't backing down. That afternoon, we sent her a formal letter. Nothing threatening, just a clear reminder that she had agreed to the contract, and if she used any part of the work we had created without paying, we'd take legal steps. That was enough to get her attention. She called me that night. She didn't say hello. She just said, "Are you serious with this?" "I am," I said. "You're really going to do this over a few $100? "No. I'm doing it because you tried to take advantage of my team's work. And because I don't owe you anything, Nicole." She huffed into the phone. "You have no idea what it's like to be a mom. And you have no idea what it's like to run a business." She hung up. But she still didn't pay. Then, 3 weeks later, I got a tip from a designer friend who does freelance for influencers. He sent me a screenshot. Nicole had launched her blog with our logo, our graphics, even some of our exact wording on the homepage. I clicked the link. There it was. Real Mom Moments. The exact layout we'd designed. She'd stripped the footer credit, but it was ours. I took screenshots, sent them to my lawyer. We filed a cease and desist that same day, and he sent it with an official letterhead. It was airtight. She took the site down within 24 hours. Then she posted on Instagram. Oh, she didn't mention me by name. But she made a long, tearful video about how she was bullied by a bitter woman who hates mothers and forced to start over because some people just can't handle a strong female voice. And she tagged local mom groups. The comments exploded. Suddenly, I was getting DMs. Some were nasty, accusing me of being jealous, bitter, cold. One woman told me I must be barren to act this way. But some weren't like that. Some came from women in those same groups who said, "This isn't the first time she's pulled this." And that's when I realized something. Nicole had a history. The DMs kept coming. One woman named Sarah told me Nicole had tried to rope her into some MLM scheme last year, selling overpriced essential oils and healing crystals for toddlers. Another said Nicole had started a mommy group on Facebook, then kicked out anyone who disagreed with her. Another woman, Elise, said Nicole once borrowed $500 to help cover rent during her divorce and never paid it back. There were dozens of these stories. I didn't know what to do with it at first. I wasn't trying to ruin someone's life. But then Elise sent me screenshots. Nicole bragging in private messages about how she always finds suckers who'll do things for free, including me. That was it. I took everything, screenshots, stories, the legal documents, the unpaid invoice, even her stolen graphics, and I sent it to a local parenting blogger I knew, Melissa. She had a big following in the Columbus mom scene, and she cared a lot about protecting small businesses and moms from scams. I didn't tell Melissa what to do. I just gave her the info and told her, do what feels right. 2 days later, Melissa posted a long article titled, "When Moms Use Motherhood as a Weapon." She didn't name Nicole. But she didn't have to. The details were all there: stroller incident at Kroger, stealing graphic work, fake victim video, unpaid invoice, even the screenshots of her mocking other moms. People knew. They connected the dots fast. And the fallout was brutal. Nicole's Instagram comments turned against her. She tried to defend herself. Made more videos, cried, blamed everyone else, but it didn't work this time. She wasn't the victim anymore. Sponsors dropped her. The local mom groups banned her. Her blog was dead before it ever lived. But it wasn't just her that got a wake-up call. One night, after the dust settled, I sat on my porch with a glass of wine. I opened my laptop and looked at that invoice again. I could have just let it go. But I didn't. And even though I didn't do anything illegal, I started to ask myself if I'd let the revenge go too far. The truth? Maybe a little. I won, sure. But I let it live in my head longer than it should have. I thought about her more than she deserved. I gave her space in my life, space that could have gone to better things. And in that way, I lost too. Next morning, I closed that invoice for good. I marked it written off in our system. Not because she didn't know it, but because I was done giving her anything. Nicole faded from the scene, and I moved on. My business grew. Clients came in who respected the work. And once in a while, I'd still run into someone who remembered her. They'd ask, "Wasn't she the one with that blog that vanished overnight?" And I'd smile, real calm, and say, "Yeah, something like that."